I focused on crafting scenery that complements the character's movements without drawing too much attention to itself. Each animal has its own unique setting, inspired by images I found online and research on their usual habitats. To maintain focus on the puppets, I designed the background in a sketchy, childlike style using only black and white. The minimalist approach helps avoid overwhelming the viewer and keeps the visuals easier on the eyes. I created the backgrounds on printer paper, drawn with black Sharpie. Once the drawings were completed, I soaked each page in oil and then let it dry for about 20 hours before drying off the excess with paper towels. This process made the paper translucent, which I thought would help with smooth scene transitions. Layering the oiled papers allowed me to overlap multiple scenes while keeping the animal puppets clearly visible. I tested this by holding a puppet against a single oiled sheet, which gave a sharp and clear shadow. After adding a second sheet, it still preserved enough detail to make the layers visually effective. I envisioned using a blank oiled sheet as the main screen, with each scene layered on top of it. However, when I experimented with washing off the oil using water, the paper was ruined. This misstep taught me to trust the properties of oil for this process. For the screen itself, I set up a blank sheet between two supports, a stool and a drawer. In a previous project, tape covered too much of the screen space, so this time I positioned it differently to maximize the performance area. Looking back, the oiling process was the most successful aspect. The pages layered beautifully without smudging, and the translucency enhanced the scene's transitions. To add depth, I experimented with special effects. For water scenes, I tried crumpled plastic wrap over the light to simulate motion, but the result was subtle. Adding color to the plastic wrap with Sharpie introduced a soft, pleasing change in lighting. I had to go back in with the Sharpie a second time to increase the saturation. I briefly tested using blue painter's tape, but I did not like how dark the lighting got. I also used acetate sheets colored with markers to create vibrant filters for the final scenes. While I still need to refine how I transition scenery and effects, the process reinforced the value of improvisation and creating using everyday materials.